Talk Tech. Our buddy Kris is here. Kris Abel. Real Kris Abel online. Krisaeabaj. The K is silent. There's two J's in it. Krisabel is what it is. My brain cell just died that had that information. My apologies. Hi, Kris.
Hello.
Welcome back. Sorry I butchered your name.
Oh, that's fine. And you know what? That's how they spell it in Norway. Is what I've learned. I've been watching a bunch of Norwegian movies and TV shows. One of the great films that's out is called Troll 2. It's a big monster movie. And one of the heroes is Major Kris. Yeah. He spells his name the same way. And then when the credits roll, you look at all the cast and crew, and it's just Kris all the way through.
Oh, so really? Hey?
In Norway, that's how they spell it. Everybody there. Kris.
There's some fjords and fjords and bjords and all kinds of funky, cool letters. I like this. Where are we going today? We've got it's supposed to be Good News Tuesday, but we've got some sad robot news, Kris.
Yes. iRobot, the American company, which began the whole robot vacuum trend back in 2002 with the Roomba vacuum cleaner.
Yep.
When we tend to think of robot vacuum cleaners, we all think of the Roomba. They were successful in terms of getting into our minds and having that space first. iRobot has just had to file for bankruptcy. And so I'm sad to say that it does look like it's the end of iRobot as an American company. So the bankruptcy should complete itself in February. The result is going to be that iRobot as a brand, as a business, is going to be transitioned over to a Chinese robotics company, Paisia Robotics. They will assume control. They'll take over all the branding. The good news is that Paisia says they will continue to support the Roomba vacuum cleaners. So if you are a Roomba vacuum cleaner owner, the good news is that you will be able to continue to get software updates. Repairs are still going to continue. There's going to be a supply chain that will keep things going forward. However, the company is going to cease to be an American company, and they will continue on, hopefully, as a Chinese company. What's major important about this is that I've talked a lot about how there's a high-stakes competition in the world of robots right now. And internationally, China is the company or the country that's been dominating. And so one of the few territories out there has been robot vacuums, which has been held and dominated by American companies for almost over 20 years. Well, now that's gone. So robot vacuums as an American sort of innovation and trend is now being assumed by Chinese. We've now lost that territory to the Chinese robotics world. So more and more, the world of robotics is being dominated by Chinese companies. And Paisia Robotics, even though they're assuming iRobot, they have been making robot vacuum cleaners for other companies. In fact, the very competitors that have caused iRobot to have its current problems. And so likely going forward, there may be more vacuum cleaners that will have the Roomba name, but those are going to be Chinese designs. Those will be Chinese vacuum cleaners. It's kind of the same thing that happened to BlackBerry here in Canada, where the Canadian company disappeared and Chinese companies ended up assuming the name. And so the BlackBerry we all knew, that was gone. And I'm afraid that that's kind of going to be the same with the Roomba vacuum cleaner that we all know.
And we've seen that with speakers. Mackie was another one. That was another really great speaker, but then the quality went down. So I'll be curious to see where it goes. I did think of you though, Kris, because I did see a robot snowblower in my feed recently, and which it was really cool. But I feel like the safety level of a vacuum cleaner versus an auger and a snowblower, like that's two different levels of trust for the robots taking over, you know?
Oh yeah, no, that's I think why it's something that is of great importance, because we are moving towards more dangerous forms of robotics. And so we need to know who's in charge.
Well, especially with a robot snowblower. I mean, I don't want to be negative, but where's the cat? You know?
Yes, and who's designing it? Is it at least a country that has snow? I mean, do you trust somebody in San Francisco to design your robot snowblower, or should you get a Canadian company maybe?
You don't want to find kitty splattered all over the front lawn, I guess is what I'm saying too. All right, Google Translate does a pretty decent job, but they're getting more real time. What do we have?
So they are upgrading their service, and there's a number of really cool things that they're doing. The first is that up until now, Google Translate has kind of been associated with Google's phones. You had to have a Google Pixel smartphone in order to really have their Translate experience. They now say that they've taken the Google Translate that's available through their search on their website, and through the Google Translate app. And they're now giving it the enhanced capabilities that came with their artificial intelligence Gemini. Gemini is the artificial intelligence that has been, for a while, they're exclusive to their Pixel smartphones. They're now saying, no, now you can actually access that on the websites. When you go to google.com and you do a search and you start to translate things, it's going to be better translation because it's going to be powered by Gemini. What this means is that you're not just getting translation where it takes the French word and finds the English equivalent, but now when you have a computer voice that actually reads aloud the text, it will include the cadence, the tonality. It will try to give you as much an expression of what the original voice, whoever wrote or was writing or trying to communicate, what that includes. And then there are other enhancements that they're adding as well, including the use of slang and expressions and idioms. Instead of just directly translating word for word, they're going to actually say, look, no, we'll find an equivalent slang in that language to kind of match. And then they're adding another 20 or 30 languages to it. So all in all, Google Translate as a service is getting better and better and more sophisticated in ways that you may not have expected.
Mm-hmm. Some of the more casual conversation nuances is kind of cool. I still think, though, it doesn't really help us because sometimes the slang can be taken different ways for different people. And then it's like, well, did I just call you a what? And you don't really know, right? Like fun, but scary stuff. Okay, next on the list, McDonald's. Interesting stuff with McDonald's. I'll let you take the clip here so you can introduce it, Kris.
All right. So what we're talking about here is McDonald's in Netherlands. So getting close to the holidays, they felt the rush. They needed to be able to put out a holiday campaign for Christmas. So what they did was they turned to artificial intelligence. They had an ad agency. They say, yes, there were some human beings working on this, but they used artificial intelligence to quickly pump out a video. Immediately, there was a lot of backlash. As you will hear in the clip that we're about to play, they were trying to do something that was funny, but it kind of worked out the wrong way. The premise is that Christmas is such a stressful, horrible time of year that you might as well just skip Christmas and go hang out at McDonald's instead. Have a listen.
It's the most terrible time of the year. So you flee from the madness, the lights and the cheer, and hide out in McDonald's till January's here.
It's festive.
I mean, the ad does include things like Christmas trees. What they show is how a lot of things going wrong, including snowblowers, people falling on ice, cats bringing down Christmas trees, and saying, look, you might as well just skip it all and go to McDonald's. It's meant to be funny. It is funny for all the wrong reasons. And there was such an outcry in terms of this being really an anti-Christmassy kind of ad that the company had to quickly pull it from Netherlands. But that didn't stop it from going viral online.
I don't find it terrible. I mean, it just seems like out of alignment for that particular business. That's all.
For a company like McDonald's, yeah,
Which is happy joy, right?
Think of major companies whose brand name depends on being very family oriented.
Yeah.
If this was Disney doing this, again, it's sort of inappropriate, out of place. It would be different if it was something, a much more sort of youthful brand doing
or
it,
sarcastic brand.
Tongue in cheek, and yeah,
that would make sense to me. It just seems like it was a really great idea for the wrong group. Okay, cool stuff. There we go. Kris Abel. We're going to see Kris again. He's going to join us on Thursday because we're going to talk toys, Christmas toys, and that'll be fun. So we've got that and so much more. Thanks, Kris.
All right, take care, guys.
Shane Hewitt in the Night Shift. Real Kris Abel, KrisAbel.com. And on the socials, you can get in touch with Kris. Kris's YouTube channel is there as well. Bringing us the smart tech and so much more. Okay, coming up for you, Shane Hewitt in the Night Shift, a tongue scraper, way low tech, but apparently a big deal. Never heard of this before.